Hey there. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. I'm having a little trouble sleeping. I thought maybe you'd be up. I'm kind of I'm stuck in a little bit of an anxiety loop. A little bit of an anxiety loop, and I'm kind of I don't know. I think I'm a little mad at myself. So, you remember last time we were chatting, and I was telling you that my platelets cratered around Halloween. And if you recall, for all of us cancer patients, your platelets have to be at a certain level in order to be green lighted for chemo. If they're not at that certain level, if they're below it, then they just tell you, we're so sorry, you need to go home, there's nothing we can do. And in a normal world, there's no food, there's not a single pill, there's no solution to this. Your body just has to have time to heal and start producing bone marrow and red blood cells again. Sounds simple, right? But you need the chemo to keep going to kill the cancer. So if you take a break, then the cancer grows. Very scary predicament. We know this. I've been there a lot, right? We've talked about this a lot. But I was so lucky to have a doctor that took the time to think about my case, came up with a trial, found a drug, and solved the problem, right? So a year ago, I started on this trial drug, and if my platelets, we have a protocol. Every Friday, I go in for blood work, rain or shine, go in for blood work. I have to do this to be part of her trial so she can have data, right? So I go in for blood work on Friday. If my platelets are above a certain number, I'm good to go. Most likely Monday morning when I walk in for chemo, platelets are gonna be there, right? Okay, great. If platelets are below a certain point, then my doctor reaches out and says, we just have a protocol. I start taking the trial drug, but boom, it skyrockets my platelets always when I show up on Monday. So just haven't worried about it in about a year. Well, Halloween comes around, I'm having some bone pain, so I'm like, oh shit, this is like, there's like cancer bone pain, and then there's like, you know, your bone marrow not functioning on top of that bone pain, and that's where I was at. So I go in for my blood work, and yep, they've cratered. To be expected. I'm doing chemo and radiation, no problem. So, boom, take the drug, all right. Walk in on Monday, I didn't get the bump. It didn't skyrocket. So then I was like, oh snap. Now I still got my chemo because it was like right there, right? But this is the thing. The rest of the week, I'm thinking, now I've got chemo, and chemo drains you, right? And I've still got this bone pain, so I'm thinking, oh my God. Is it possible that the trial drug won't work in perpetuity? I mean, that seems very reasonable, but just something I never fucking thought of. It never crossed my mind. Like, I'm always worried about chemo, right? Like, the chemo I'm on has a 2-year protocol, and it just stops working, generally around 2 years. I'm at that mark. So, and right now, my chemo's not letting any new cancer come in, but it lets the existing cancer grow. So I'm always wondering, oh my God, is the chemo not working? But I never even thought for 1 second that this prescription, this trial drug could not work. It just didn't cross my mind. And then bam, I'm hit with this, right? So all week I'm thinking, oh my God, what if it doesn't fucking work? Like, if it doesn't work, it's not your option whether to, you know, we've been talking a lot about my feelings about like, oh my God, you know, I'm struggling to go into chemo. It makes me nauseous to even think about it days in advance and all of this stuff. But fuck, man, at least I still have the choice this is my choice to go, right? It's not being taken away from me. If I stop chemo for any reason because I decided that it's just enough in my body, I'm just gonna let it run and it's whatever. That's my choice. But when it's not your choice, And I've been there before when there was no solution. And so this little bump is like scared the... So I'm thinking about that a lot. This is just kind of going through my head. Just like, well, what happens if this doesn't work? And there is no, you know, I guess I would just have to do focus on radiation, right? Radiation on the lungs. But I already have a little bit of a cough from the radiation, and my like volume of air is less than it used to be. Like there's already some impact. So I don't know how much radiation they're gonna let me do. I mean, I'm doing lung exercises every single day because, again, at least that's something I can do, right? Nothing you can do when it comes to your platelets. But this is where I got a little angry with myself, right? Because I was like, yeah, you know, I've had like miracle after miracle of science, and this entire time my job has been to do as much as I can to support myself. And I haven't really been strict on my nutrition in the last couple of months. I've been allowing myself to like have ice cream or go for pastries or something, right? And I know it sounds so like, oh yeah, you can do that, Nicole. It's no big deal, but no, it is a big deal. My body doesn't function well on sugar, period. Forget about the cancer. If cancer eats sugar, I know my body does not function. I don't get good sleep. It's like there's so much that it just does. So I should not be eating sugar. And I've been allowing myself to eat sugar. And now I'm mad at myself because like I have to do everything I can to set myself up for success. I don't have the luxury to decide like I'm not going to give it my all. I don't know. But as you can see, I'm spiraling a little. But I do, I get blood work tomorrow morning. So I'll know tomorrow. Either way though, I've been adding everything I can to my calendar because I can and because I'm still here and I feel it's important for me to honor that. My friend Reed died last year right before the holidays. I know he'd give anything to be here. So I've been taking care of myself mentally and emotionally by I went to a play, concerts, show, like it's I'm living life. I've got to also make sure that I'm doing the best in nutrition. I have to be doing everything I can to support myself. No slacking. No slacking. I think it's the double whammy of this little bit of a scare or recognition that like I can't actually rely on this. I have to be more conscious than that. But yeah, I think I just have to be better, and then I have to give it my all. Yeah, and it might not always be my choice, like I'm finding with my lungs. So that's why, yeah. All right. We'll continue this conversation tomorrow when I get my blood work. Let's see how this wraps up, yeah? All right, talk to you then. You know, I'm super happy that I chose to ride my bike today because going in for blood work, I forgot my earbuds, right? And you know, one of the ways that I deal with the anxiety of being in the chemo center around like a bunch of dying people, and I'm one of them, is to put my music in and then I walk or dance in the dead time between the appointments, right? And I didn't have that resource today, and it's hard because I go into that chemo center, and you know, I mean, if you grew up in a world where your daddies made your mommies cry, right? There's that the whimpering and the crying and the sobbing and the screaming and all of these things that you hear continually as a child that you want to solve, right? You want to you don't want it to be happening anymore because it's horrific, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I feel very much the same way when I go into the chemo center, right? Because without being able to block out my hearing, I hear people whimpering and moaning and crying. There's not a lot of head dead to bring inspiration from, so so happy. They were fast today. Now I just have to wait for the results. A couple hours, we'll see. But so grateful to be strong enough to ride my bike to blood work so I can get rid of all of this grossness on the way home, right? Yes. Okay, I've gotten a message from my chart that I have a message from my doctor. That generally means that it's the test results from today, because my doctor is so amazing. She knows that you're freaking out waiting for these test results, right? So much going through your mind, so much anxiety. And so she always pushes my test results back in like 2 hours. I just really, really appreciate that. But we're gonna open them up together. I mean, the thing that's like increased my anxiety, as we talked about, is that there's bone pain. If it's not my platelets, what is it, right? But it can also be it's also cold weather coming. I've had radiation too. There's lots of factors. See, this is the ping pong. Ping pong, ping, ping, ping. It's not that it's not working. Okay. Yes. They're not just good, they're high. It's still working. It's still working. It's still working. Oh my God. Okay. That's still working. Still gonna be able to get chemo. My God. God, I spiraled so much this week because it just never crossed my mind that it could not work. I don't know why. Okay, all right. Now I just need to focus on getting myself hydrated and in a sweet mental space to walk in that door and accept the 65th round of chemo. Not just accept it, welcome it. Because as I just realized, we need to return to a place of gratitude with chemo. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out and holding my hand through this one.